Hey guys, hopefully this will be a short video, but we all know what I'm like with short videos, so I'll try and talk fast and not talk as much as I usually do. Basically, I just want to tell you guys about a movie called Prayers for Bobby, which some of you may have already seen, because I know it was on 2 or 3 months ago on Channel 5 in the UK. But basically, it's based on a true story, which makes it even more emotional. But it's a really good movie, but it is really emotional. But it's an eye opener, and it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so basically, it's based on a true story, and it's about a young man called Bobby Griffith, and his whole family are very religious and believe that homosexuality is a sin. And yeah, so he was raised in the Presbyterian church, and when he thinks that he might be gay, he confides in his older brother, and his mum eventually finds out, um, and thinks that he's sinning and thinks that God can cure him of his homosexuality. So she tries to get him to go to church more and to become more involved within the church and church activities, um, in hope that God will cure him of his homosexuality, which just won't and can't happen. Um, so yeah, basically this tears his mother apart, even through no fault of his own, and he feels really guilty about how basically how bad he's making his mum feel, even though it's not his fault. So he moves away, moves out, in hope that it'll give his mum some time to come to terms with the fact that he's gay and to not think that he's sinning. Um, but it doesn't help. And whilst his dad and his brothers, I think he has a sister too, whilst his family don't like it, they come to terms with it, and they don't take a long time to do so. They're not too fond of it, but they come to terms with it, and I guess they accept it. But his mum has a really hard time trying to accept it because she's incredibly religious, and he feels useless. That he's tried everything that his mum's asked him to do, even if he didn't want to do it, just to show her that basically he's trying so hard, but there's nothing he can do to fix his homosexuality. So yeah, basically one night he's sick of how bad he's making his mum and his family feel, and because of his church and his family's obvious dislike for his homosexuality and homosexuality in general, he goes out and he jumps off a bridge into oncoming traffic and kills himself. Um, and this also tears his mom apart, just as the fact that he was gay tore her apart. But she feels really guilty, and she wonders why, if God could cure him of his homosexuality, why did God let him die? Um, so to that doesn't make sense to her, and she's sort of losing her faith with her God. She goes to, I'm not sure if it's her local church, like her usual church, or if it's a different one that Bobby went to. I can't really remember, but basically she goes to church and asks the pastor about it. Basically tells him the story, but I think the pastor knew Bobby, so that's why I'm thinking it might be church Bobby went to. I can't really remember, but yeah, basically tells him what happens and asks him why this happened. Why did God let it happen? Um, and it's a really good movie. It's really emotional. The pastor basically takes excerpts from the Bible and explains them, and explains that over time the meanings have changed, and if you're reading something from the Bible, what you think it means now is not the same as it meant when it was written, and things get changed and interpreted wrong over time, especially from the Bible. Um, so it doesn't necessarily say that homosexuality is a sin or it is a bad thing. It's just basically the interpretations that have gone on over time, that are incorrect. And so at first she won't accept it, but then it seems to make sense to her that God wouldn't let Bobby die if he could be cured. So she goes to I can't remember what it is. She goes to a PFLAG meeting, and I think she goes to this rally, or it's not about gay marriage, I don't think. No, but it's about gay something, and there's lots of religious people on one side, and then there's the people for like gay rights on the other side. Um, basically she goes up and I can't find the quote anywhere, but I'll put a link in the sidebar for the movie because it's on YouTube. But it's in like 9 parts, and it's in the end part, I'm pretty sure. But she goes to this meeting rally thing, and she stands up on the thing to speak to everyone, and she starts saying, um, basically, homosexuality is a sin. When my Bobby told me that he was gay, I told him that he was sinning against God. Blah 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 blah. It's a horrible thing, etc. And people on the gay rights side are just like, what? But the people on the religious side are like, yeah, woo, go. But at the end, she says, these are all the things that I told my son Bobby when he realised he was gay, and that evidently ended up with him killing himself because of all the wrong things I was telling him that weren't in fact true. So I can't actually remember what it was, but it's a really good movie. And I think it makes a lot of sense if you're coming out and your parents or family or whoever you're coming to is religious. I think this would, well, if it was me, at least if my parents were religious, I would ask them to watch this movie, um, because I think it would help, especially if you're coming out to religious people. So that might work, but even if you're not religious at all, um, I definitely suggest checking it out because it's a really well made movie and it's really emotional. And yeah, it's based on a true story. And now Mary Griffith, who is Bobby's mother, remember this happened in real life. Um, she is a huge gay rights campaigner and supporter. And it just shows that people can change. And basically, yeah, it's just a movie about religious intolerance. And this woman was incredibly ignorant. Like so against homosexuality as you can get, but now she's campaigning for gay rights. So it basically just shows that people can change if they're educated and told the right things. So ignorance is bad, and basically the source of all the problems. But yeah, I've been talking for a while now, so I'm sorry this wasn't a short video, but I definitely recommend checking it out. It's a really good movie, so I just thought I'd bring that to light for you guys. And I'm gonna go, and I will see you guys soon. But remember to check it. Is that way? Maybe yeah. Anyway, yeah. Just remember to check it out because it's a really good movie, and I'll see you guys soon.